Hello and welcome to my channel Physics Talk. Today I'll be teaching Newton's laws of motion. This chapter is the dynamics part of the mechanics where we study forces and momentum. Newton's laws of motion are very important in classical physics, from which we can derive large number of principles and results. Before first law, let's see what is principle of inertia discovered by Galileo. So the Galileo's principle of inertia states that if an object is left alone, is not disturbed, it continues to move with a constant velocity in a straight line if it was originally moving, or it continues to stand if it was standing still. Now what does this mean? Let's say this is a body which is moving with velocity v. So it Galileo's principle says that until and unless this is disturbed, okay, if this is disturbed, only then the velocity will change. Velocity will change, it will become v dash. It may be 0 or any other velocity, any other value. But if there is no disturbance, then this v does not change. So this is the first part. Second part is, suppose this is a body which is standing still. It is at rest. Until and unless this is disturbed, this body will remain at rest. If this is disturbed, then it may get some velocity v, and until and unless this is disturbed, it remains at rest. So this is Galileo's principle of inertia. Now let's look into Newton's first law. So Newton's first law of motion. See, it is just a restatement of the Galilean principle. It states that if sum of all the forces acting on the particle is 0, then and only then the particle is unaccelerated. Unaccelerated means it remains at rest or moves with a constant velocity. Now what is the meaning of this? Suppose F is the sum of forces acting on the particle. A is the acceleration of the particle. So Newton's first law says that acceleration is equal to 0 if and only if F is equal to 0. Here F is the sum of all the forces, and mind you, by sum I mean the vector sum of all the forces. Being said that, let's look at a scenario here. Suppose this is an elevator. Inside the elevator is a person. Let's call him A, and there is a lamp inside the elevator, and this is the ground, and there is another person B on the ground, and this is the rope by which the elevator hangs, and suppose this rope breaks at some instant. So when this rope will break, this elevator will come down with acceleration g. Now let's consider the lamp. What are the forces acting on the lamp? So what are the forces? First is will be the gravitational force. Gravitational force, let's call this W, and this will act downwards. Second will be the tension. Tension is due to the rope by which the lamp hangs inside the elevator. So tension due to the rope. And this tension, let's call this T, it acts in the upward direction. So see, they have different signs. Okay. Now let's consider the scenario with respect to A. Now what will A say? So with respect to A, the acceleration of this lamp will be 0. So the acceleration of lamp is 0, and since the acceleration is 0, we can say that sum of all the forces acting on the lamp is equal to 0, and therefore we can say W minus T is equal to 0. Hence W is equal to T. Why it is W minus T? Because they are in different directions and we are doing vector addition. Okay, so we have got W is equal to T. Now let's look at a scenario with respect to B. Okay, so what will B say? Now according to B, your acceleration of the lamp is equal to G. Therefore, your net force on the lamp is not equal to 0. Hence, W is not equal to T. Okay, so both cannot be correct at the same time. One of the frames, therefore, is a bad choice for a frame. Now we can clearly see that Newton's law is valid in the first frame. So here, Newton's first law is valid. And in the second frame, Newton's first law is invalid. Now such frames where Newton's first law is valid are called inertial frames of references. Okay, so this frame, the frame with respect to A, is called inertial frame of reference. And the frame where Newton's law is invalid is called non-inertial frame of reference. Okay, now a question arises whether Earth is an inertial frame of reference or not. So what is the question? Is Earth an inertial frame? So let's look at this with an example below. Suppose this is a table. Okay, and an object is kept on the table. Okay, let's call this the book. Okay, now with respect to Earth, acceleration of this book is equal to 0 because this is stationary on the table. Book is kept on the table and it is not moving anywhere. So acceleration of the book with respect to Earth is 0. Therefore, okay, another thing, forces acting on the book. What are the forces acting on the book? First will be gravitational force, W, which will act downwards, and another will be contact force. which is denoted by letter N. This contact force is due to the table, and this acts upwards. Hence, from Newton's first law, we can say that sigma of forces is equal to 0. Therefore, we can say W is equal to N. Okay. Now, if you measure exactly, okay, if we measure exactly, by exactly what do I mean? That we have a very exact measurement. There is no error in the measurement which we are doing. So in this case, your sigma of f is not equal to 0, but this is almost equal to 0. It's very close to 0. Therefore, so we write sigma of f is equal to 0. Why? Because it is very close to 0. Exactly it is not 0, but it is very close to 0. Hence we write sigma of f is equal to 0, and hence this is true. And since this is true, we can write that Earth is an inertial frame of reference. Okay, so are there any inertial frames other than Earth? Let's consider this. Okay, so we are looking at inertial frames other than Earth. So suppose there is a frame S which is given that it is an inertial frame. There is another frame S dash which is moving with uniform velocity. By uniform velocity I mean acceleration of S dash with respect to the stationary frame S is equal to 0. Okay. Now from relative velocity equation we can write that velocity. Okay, let's consider a particle. Consider a particle P. Okay, now from relative velocity equation we can write that velocity of the particle with respect to S frame of reference is equal to velocity of the particle with respect to S dash frame plus velocity of the particle, sorry, velocity of S dash with respect to S. If you do not know from where these equations came, please click the I button. Now differentiating this with respect to time, we get acceleration of p with respect to s is equal to acceleration of p with respect to s dash plus acceleration of s dash with respect to s. Now this is equal to 0, hence we get this equation. Now s is given as the inertial frame of reference. Since s is an inertial frame, therefore the acceleration of p with respect to s is equal to 0, and since this is equal to 0, therefore acceleration of p with respect to s dash is also equal to 0. Hence we can say that s dash is also an inertial frame. Now we can generalize this idea, we can generalize this idea and say that all frames moving with uniform velocity with respect to an inertial frame of reference are inertial frames. Okay. Now what is the example of this? So example is the train moving with uniform velocity with respect to ground. Okay, so in this example you can consider that the ground is the S frame of reference which we have taken here. This frame is the ground frame and this S dash is the train. Okay, so that's all about Newton's first law. Please watch the succeeding videos for the other Newton's laws. If you like my videos, then please click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon to get regular updates. Thank you and keep learning.